Hi there. Good morning. Welcome to Draw With Me. I'm Danny Gregory. And every Thursday at 9 o'clock Pacific, we get together here and we just draw stuff, any stuff. As you can see, last week we drew stuff from ancient Egypt. And sometimes we do lots of different drawings, as we did then. Sometimes we do a single drawing, as we're going to do today, focusing on a single subject. But I'm always joined by the lovely JJ Gregory. Good morning.
Hi. Happy Thursday.
Yes, it is indeed. So what did you think of that Egyptian stuff?
Very, very cool. Very impressive.
Yeah, it was nice.
It was a fun thing to draw. I'm surprised we never did that topic before.
I know.
Because it has so many iconic things.
It was a good theme.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. And yesterday we did Draw With Me again, which if you have never joined us, you should. It's every Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon here Pacific time. So if it's a struggle for you to join us first thing in the morning here, you can join us on Wednesday afternoons. And yesterday we did, we drew a child's drawing.
Drawn like a kid.
We copied a child's drawing, and then we had fun kind of letting loose and
Coloring.
doing stuff.
We used crayons.
We used all kinds of stuff. It was a lot of fun. So, good. What do we say? Heather wants to know if our house painting is done.
Almost done. Almost done. We're back inside. Last week we were al fresco. We were dealing with, had short-term eviction from the home while we had painters working inside. And it was nice because people actually wrote to me afterward and was like, I loved hearing the birds. And
yeah, we should do it again.
so we enjoyed it.
Yeah,
although I did have allergies for like the entire rest of the day.
But it's getting hotter now, so the window for doing that might be short, but we will do it soon. So good.
Great.
Yeah. So, and if you'd like to join us, just become a member, and you can find out information about joining the channel in the description below. Here's Mateus joining us from Brazil.
Awesome.
And Gayla from Whidbey Island.
Oh, we had the best time when we went there.
We loved Whidbey Island. It was really nice. We met a lot of chickens there. So, yes, good. Mackenzie McLeod is joining us for the first time.
Nice.
Well, welcome. Good. I hope you have a great time today. So, today what we're going to do is we're going to focus on El Greco, which is an artist I honestly don't think that much about, but you mentioned him yesterday.
It was a weird thing, like a confluence of, I read about him somewhere, then I saw some other message. It was like it came up, not in conversation, but it came up like oddly in just various, I would say, internet explorations, like of things I was scrolling. And it popped up like 3 or 4 times. So
Greco,
when we were, I said, you had been saying you wanted to do another one that focused on an artist. And yesterday I said, how about El Greco? And you just sort of went ding, like we didn't even have to think about it anymore. We very rarely have that type of mind meld when picking our topic, but El Greco it is.
I think this last week was the anniversary of his death.
Oh.
I think April, or maybe next week.
It's usually not a coincidence when you see
yeah.
something like multiple times in a row, right?
Yeah, I think it's April 12th or April 14th or something like that. So,
got it. Okay.
But he's definitely dead. So he's been dead for 500 years. So.
Yes.
So so El Greco, can't say I know a huge amount about him, but
Well, now you've been studying up, right?
I watched read a couple of things about him, but
I didn't know he was from Crete.
Yeah, so
I was surprised by that.
El Greco was born in Crete, and then he moved to Italy, and he lived in Venice, and then Rome, and then finally moved to Spain, and that's kind of what we know of him. We think of him as a Spanish painter.
I for sure thought of him as a Spanish painter.
Yeah, but he's not. He didn't move to Spain until he was like 40.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
see, this show we do learning. We do learning.
We're learning stuff. So what I thought we would do today is just focus on one particular painting of his. I don't even know that it's necessarily the most famous painting. It's just one that's appealed to me, and here it is. It is called The Nobleman with His Hand on His Chest, or as JJ would call it, A Man with a Beard.
It again brought together a lot of common interests, and I said, Danny, here's your chance.
It's a man with a beard.
Do it. It's
a man with a beard, and the reality is, up until very recently, all men had beards. And that's what you're going to come across if you draw old portraits. So the reason this is called The Nobleman with His Hand on His Chest is because nobody's quite sure who it's of. They seem to think that it's probably there's a particular nobleman whose name evades me right now, who it probably is, but they also have said that it could be a self-portrait, and they've also said that it could be a painting of Cervantes, who's of course of Don Quixote fame. One thing I didn't know about Cervantes is that he didn't have the use of his left arm. He was in some battle, and Cervantes was,
hence the sword, perhaps.
No, that's why his right hand is up,
right, but the
arm's down.
left hand is just sort of like not holding the sword. It's just
the sword is like
leaning.
Supposedly that's like when you take a pledge, you unsheath your sword and you put your hand on your heart. So that's kind of what this represents. So anyway, that's what we know about it. Not a lot, but it's
It's a beautiful painting.
It's a simple design, and I thought it would just be fun to spend some time trying to get it right and see if we can actually make it look as much like the original as possible.
All right.
So Thistle points out, in case I didn't, that El Greco means the Greek. So El Greco is not his actual name. He's just the Greek. Cheryl says he died on April 7th. Okay, that explains it. So yes, it was this week. So all right, now we know. I think all we need to know. If you know none of that, it shouldn't affect you. But it is an opportunity to try and do this drawing. So. Now, a lot of El Greco paintings are what is known as Mannerist, and I'm not entirely sure what that means, but El Greco was he fell out of favor, and then he kind of became until the 19th century, and then what happened was the Impressionists, but mostly I think Picasso loved El Greco. A lot of Spanish artists did because he was Spanish, of course, or thought of as a Spanish artist, but he used to do these kind of elongated, distorted bodies.
Now, what year was this? Oh, it's 1580, right? It's right there in the...
Yeah, so he was about 40 when he painted this.
Right when he moved to Spain, eh?
Yeah, within the first couple of years, I think he moved to Spain in 77. But I'm approaching this.
Are you using a pencil?
Yeah, I am approaching this in a different way because I decided I'm using these mechanical pencils. I'm really quite into these days.
Are they the Sensations?
These Sensations. I have them in lots of different colors.
So it's a zebra Sensations.
Sensation. They are rather sensational. But yeah, so I'm not sure yet what medium I'm going to do this in. It might be watercolor, but I thought I might do something different today by actually doing a drawing in pencil first. But if you end up finding that you're distorting this drawing, I think that El Greco would approve. Because, as I said, a lot of his stuff was, his earlier work was very representational, very accurate. But then he kind of got into these really weird, long, stretched out bodies. But he began his career as an icon painter in Greece. Those are often pretty distorted, those icon paintings. So the theory, I guess, is that that's why he reverted to that when he was older.
Okay, and another person online, that's a great name, saw his paintings at Chicago Art Institute. His real name was Demonikos Theotokopoulos.
Okay, well, he has taco in there, so that's good.
Theotokopoulos. Pools.
Okay.
Wow, I butchered that. Sorry.
Yeah, you're not going to Greece anytime soon. You actually were in Greece last year.
No, that was 2 years ago. Can you believe it? Really? Time does fly.
So, yeah, I'm going to be reinterpreting this.
Never been to Crete, however, which I would really love to go to.
I'm going to reinterpret this as I said, so feel free to do the same.
Joey says, reminds me of Johnny Lee Miller. I can see that.
Who's Johnny Lee Miller?
That's an actor. There's Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah, I see it.
It's a good mustache. It's kind of a Don Quixote kind of mustache. I always think of Don Quixote as having this kind of well-trimmed beard, right?
Do you pronounce it Quixote? I always say Don Quixote.
That's what I said, Don Quixote.
You said Quixote. It's like sometimes when you say cappuccino and you say cappuccino.
I never say cappuccino. That's a Philistine. That's cappuccino is like no, I would never say cappuccino.
You do. You say cappuccino.
All right, that's it. Call the lawyer. I do like this frilly collar. He seems to have like his eyes are different from each other.
One is more hooded than the other.
Yeah.
Right? I think we all have that though, right?
We all have a dominant eye, but in his case, it's particularly pronounced. I wonder what the deal is with these collars.
It's very Sandra Day O'Connor.
Sandra Day O'Connor. That's right, because she used to wear her judicial robes with those kind of lady collars, right? But you see, like these shoulders, like these are not normal human shoulders. This is an example of this kind of like elongated shape.
Yeah.
Now, I particularly like this hand because this hand is very
slender hand with
a very long thumb.
Yeah.
But it has a sort of Egon Schiele kind of vibe to it. Egon Schiele was always doing these kind of weird gang symbols, throwing gang signs with his fingers. I'm going to make these fingers really long. I find it kind of liberating knowing that El Greco distorted things because I'm not worried too much about trying to make this accurate. I hope that you're feeling the similar sense of freedom. Although that pinky finger might be a little too free. And this, yeah. So this painting is in the Prado. If you want to check it out in person. And we've never been to Spain.
No, which is a true cry and shame. I mean, we got to go.
For a long time, I had no interest in going to Spain,
Why?
China, or Russia.
Why?
I don't know. They were just like countries I was like, yeah.
They seem too challenging to
Yeah,
you?
just kind of like, yeah, I know what that's about. I don't know why. Oh, yeah, Spain. I know what that's about.
That's like a real jerkalo thing to say. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed for you that you said that out loud. But you since reformed and you now wish to go to, well, you've been to China, which you loved.
Love China.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
Oh, he's wearing a sash. Okay, you can hardly see. It's like a black on black sash.
I can't see that at all.
Yeah.
So another person online also gives us this tidbit. El Greco had this kind of body shapes that strangely looked like a ghostly figure.
Yeah. Again, this is not necessarily an example of that because it was later in his life that he was doing those really stretched out mannerist.
But this is, and you know, look at how it's coming off the background with that like aura behind it. Do you see the like white?
Yeah, there's definitely a gradation. But you see, there's definitely, that's a sash and you can see a little kind of gold buckle thing there.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right? So yeah, so that's my drawing. Now what should I do with it? Maybe ink. It's hard to say. 'Cause this shoulder.
So apparently, Mufakos says in 2007, an international film named El Greco came out for those who are interested in his life. So you could do a bit of deeper dive on this later tonight.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that isn't known about him. Like he had a son, and he apparently had one wife, and then he was with another woman who was the mother of his son, and his son was also a painter. Oh great, I almost dropped ink on my sketchbook. So I'm going to use this Sumi ink. Yatsumo.
Yeah, people are not enchanted by your comments about Spain. And a lot of people are making good recommendations for where we should go when we visit. Hint, hint. I think
my comments about Spain. I didn't say anything. I just said all I said was like I felt like I.
Yeah, don't dig yourself in deeper. You fumbled, but now you want to visit Spain. Let us further clarify that for decades upon decades, Danny had this job where he had to travel sort of relentlessly for work, and going on a vacation was sort of like
I just wanted
you just wanted to stay home.
I just wanted to lie by a pool in the sun.
Well, Spain, I would dare say, would be a great candidate for that.
I think it was also I just didn't really understand or know much about Spanish food. So I thought like it's just like a bunch of paella.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I'm not saying that I was correct.
No, you were.
I'm just saying that that's what I thought.
You're like borderline heathen.
But I think a lot of people are like that.
Well, yeah, I think people do get perceptions, weirdly, about things for whatever reason.
I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Hey, that would make a good song.
Amy's asking what type of paint that is. Sumi ink, right?
It's not paint. I just showed you.
Well, not everybody.
Amy,
people are trying to draw a complicated portrait here.
Okay, you don't have to
Wow,
advocate.
you're argumentative today.
And you're advocating for her. Yes, Yatsutomu Sumi ink. So it is just ink with a little bit of water in it.
So Joey has noted the eyebrows are not the same and both sides of the mustache are different, which is indeed tricky. Got to be paying attention.
Yeah, I'm making this really small too, so it's a little difficult to get some of those details correct. But stretching pug noises.
Oh, twigs. We've got two tired out pugs that are both sleeping in the same basket because Danny got up at the crack of dawn and took them on a very longish walk.
Yeah.
Yesterday when we were doing Draw With Me again, they were being so rambunctious. It was kind of cute, but it was also sort of annoying.
Yeah, we're getting into the season here in Phoenix where you have to get up really early if you want to go outside.
Super hot here this week.
Just double checking to see that this didn't go through to the other side of the page, and it didn't. So I don't know if you can tell that this is Sumi ink or what that even means.
Well, it's drying real fast, right?
Well, also it's just a warmer kind of. It's not like if I did this with India ink, it would just be much blacker and kind of denser, and you can't really get the same kind of gradations when you mix in some water to India ink. India ink is it's meant to be black, and it doesn't become all these shades of gray, which is what I like about Sumi ink. In this case, I'm trying to make it just black, so. I need to get a couple new paintbrushes, believe it or not. I've done some bad things to some of my paintbrushes.
I was going to say, is that because you haven't taken care of the ones you have?
Probably. Like, look at this guy. He's got all these. I try to look after them, but you get into the throes of painting and you don't stop to really look after your brushes, and then you pay for it.
You are sometimes an absent-minded human. It occasionally happens.
Yeah, I don't look after my stuff as well as you do. I like having, food, ink, and blood stains on my clothing.
You like getting those things on my clothing too, unfortunately.
It's true. You're long-suffering. So you see this brush? It's impossible.
So Han is saying, what is hidden under his uniform? A kind of medallion. It almost looks like a watch.
That's what I'm saying. This I think is a lighter colored sash, and then here is, I think, a buckle that's probably the buckle that holds his belt that his sword is in.
Yeah. Well, the short answer is we don't exactly know. It's open to interpretation.
But as to what he's wearing under his robes, I don't know. Could be ladies' clothing. You never know. These Spaniards.
God, Lordy. Don't write to me at info@sketchbookschool.com
And if you do, write in Spanish.
We've talked before about how many times we've taken Spanish lessons and we still flounder around, failing completely to retain this information.
We failed again this year to do it.
I know. I took a trip to the Dominican Republic in January and took a 8-week Spanish course leading up to it. For the 5th or 6th time, I'm telling you, I've paid money to take these lessons. Nothing. I mean, I couldn't even order a meal. It was pathetic. It was embarrassing.
I think it's the Spanish's fault, not yours.
I don't know. And the terrible thing is we both speak pretty good French.
Yeah.
So one would think could make this work. No.
Impossible. Impossibilo. Right, I'm kind of getting into this detailed black stuff.
I don't know, but
really
what you're
helping
doing
me.
on that sword looks real good. Yeah. Your brush is like giving little railroad. Is that what you call it? Railroad?
Yeah, it's
railroading?
It's because I've ruined this brush, so it's not.
You've turned it into a dip pen somehow.
Well, I was able to do lines with a single hair. Yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I first encountered Indian miniature painting. In fact, we had a couple of those paintings in our house.
In Pakistan?
Yeah, and I always remember hearing that they painted them with a brush with a single hair. It's like, that is so cool. But now I have a lot of brushes
you see people that do paintings on a single grain of rice.
There's that too. That's what we'll be doing in a couple of weeks. I think we're going to do that. So you might want to start shopping for rice and magnifying glasses.
Should we do it on paella rice to redeem
we'll do
our slanderous commenting? For the record, I love Spanish food. In fact, the other night I made a really good dish. So Danny wanted pasta. I committed to cooking for us. I knew that whatever I was going to make, I'd have to go to the store for because we had literal nothing because the painters have been in our house. So I found a recipe for a carbonara, so a rigatoni carbonara, which everybody, knows carbonara and there are 1,000 recipes for it. But this author made a Spanish style. So you take smoky Spanish chorizo and chickpeas, and you brown up the chorizo, and then the chickpeas fry in the chorizo oil. It was absolutely fantastic.
It was really good.
I recommend it.
All right, so now I'm going to paint the sash in a slightly lighter color. stands up. See, like, is this the sash? Does the sash end here? I'm gonna make the sash end there. And I'm gonna make. Yes, I've resorted now to this
Water brush?
Yeah, it's just because I know that this brush takes a point. I think that's going to be my treat to myself, is I'm going to get a good new watercolor brush.
Cool. Susanna forgot today was Thursday. Well, you're here now. That's the important thing. You kind of lost some of your long thumb. You know how
I shortened his thumb. I gave him a manicure. I was kind of creeped out by that thumb. So the question is, should I do the rest in just shades of gray, or should I do watercolor?
I think watercolor. I just see so much lovely, like, warm brown in this painting.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to stop with the black now. That black was very enticing, though. And I don't know I think I might leave the background white.
Isabel is asking what kind of brush it is. It's literally a water brush.
It's called a water brush.
Yeah.
It's just a plastic handle with a synthetic brush, but you fill it with water.
It's essential for urban sketching.
Yeah, they're decent brushes. I mean, they're not like great watercolor brushes, but they're very handy. Very handy. See, I could paint this solid black, but I kind of like that there's some variations in that black. It's okay.
I think that, yeah, I think that's his style, right?
Yeah.
I think
And I'm sure if you looked at this painting in reality, it would not be like a sheet of black. It would be. Right?
No, it's layers of brown.
You think it's brown? Yeah.
I do. It looks.
It's hard
brown
to say
me.
because I've looked at several reproductions of this picture, and I ended up this is actually a screen grab from a YouTube video that was filmed in the Prada that was actually the best kind of, you could see the details in the thing. A lot of the other ones were really dark. So I think it's a difficult painting to photograph because it is so black. I think also when you look at this up close, the brush and the paint is just like much more rough and crude than it looks like from this distance. Because on this video that I watched, you could really see the brushwork. Like this sword down here is like almost abstract. Another thing about sumi ink is it changes colors as it dries a bit, so it may look darker now than it will be. Like this sash might get lighter.
Can you hit it with a hairdryer?
No, I think I just need to. I think I may have overdone it. I do want to make this sash look a bit different from the background. Okay, this is making me a bit nervous. But...
Oh dear. After you amputated his thumb, it's all going downhill.
His thumb is still extremely long. All right, let's see what we can do with his face. Now things are going to get scary. I've got ink on my desk that I know is going to be a problem. Do a little bit of housework here. All right. Let's have a look at him more closely.
You know, like zoom. Oh, you already did.
Yeah, I'm zooming in.
See, I have a little delay, so sometimes
No, I'm not. This is just on my. I just. Like, this is a decent brush, but I somehow managed to get some kind of glue on the tip of it, so that's already ruined. So I just need a narrow brush. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to resort to this water brush. Look after your brushes, folks. Otherwise, you'll live a life of regret like I do.
Or you'll live a life of going to Blick Art Supply
Yeah.
and giving them your money, which is a fun thing to do. Your brushes are pretty much all synthetics, right?
Well, I have one really good brush.
And you didn't ruin that, did you?
I have one really good brush, which I have basically ruined. Yeah,
Oh, Danny, that's sick and
This
wrong.
is this one.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
This sable.
Wow.
It's a Winsor Newton. It probably costs like $100, and I've basically ruined it.
How did you do that?
I've had it for like 10 years.
Oh, I see.
It took me that long to ruin it.
Cindy Zick said, "Oh wow, no point left."
Of what? Of my brush?
Your brush, yeah. This was also saying her aunt taught her proper brush care when she was a kid.
My aunt didn't. She didn't do anything for me.
Do you have any aunts?
That's a good question.
I don't think you do.
Well, I have uncles who had wives, I guess. But a lot of them had multiple wives, so I didn't really know any of them. You might be saying to yourself, did he just ruin it?
I don't think so. I was thinking it's looking good.
I appreciate that. I often end up doing watercolor copies of paintings that were not done in watercolor, and it is pretty different.
I mean, this is an oil painting for certain, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, no question. Those are cute.
Yeah, I could use one of those one-haired Indian brushes just about now.
Are you regretting not doing it on a bigger piece of paper? I mean, how big is that's like a 8 by 10?
What I'm working on now, it's like 5 by 7.
Is it? Oh, geez. How do you make something hard even harder?
That's my specialty. Yeah, it's funny because so much of this painting is just kind of black. Like there's not really even any need to do a lot of it, you know. Like large, and there's like the little details of this face.
Yeah, I like kind of how you exaggerated it because that one eye is so much more open than the other eye. Have you cropped the image at all? Han is asking
I don't think so.
if the sword is more visible in the original.
I don't think so. But feel free to Google it. It's a pretty easily Googleable thing.
I'll do it. The noble man with hand on his chin.
I mean, this is actually, as I said, this is a screen grab from a video where they were showing the whole thing because it's in a big.
Yeah, no, it
frame.
definitely does not.
Yeah, it's cut off, right?
Yeah, no, your framing is completely correct.
Yeah, it's got a big wooden frame around it. Not a terribly attractive frame, honestly, but
I think that's quite subjective.
true.
In 1580, it was probably
Like the shit, yeah.
well, I mean, an oil painting of this type would have been a real luxury item.
Yeah. That's why it's unlikely that it was a self-portrait because, you know, while there are certain artists known
Listen,
for that.
You okay?
Yeah. Too much talking. It was more unusual for a professional artist to do self-portraits.
My goodness.
What?
Here, let me give you a lifesaver.
No, okay. I mean, if you think about it, it's kind of logical. It's like you are making money from your paintings, so can you really stop and paint yourself when you're not going to pay yourself? But, you know, certainly Rembrandt.
I mean, that painting of self-portrait of Rembrandt is like his most famous thing.
Well, there's lots of them, but yeah. I mean, it's certainly a way of advancing your technique. They're not doing it for self-aggrandizement. But nobody wants to buy a painting of a painter in those days. Now, of course, they're extremely valuable. I kind of like that this is that small. It's not bugging me. I got over my fear of painting this small. You might want to consider going out and getting your own copy of this, downloading your own copy of this from the internet. If you are struggling with the size of it.
Are you going to try to do anything with the background?
I kind of like it on a white background. I'm afraid if I paint a big black background, I won't be happy with it. So no, I think I'm going to leave it. All right, I'm going to let this sit for a second, and I'm going to work on that sword.
You going to work on the hand?
Oh yeah, the hand too. I almost feel like I need a magnifying glass. I can become like one of those old codgers reading the newspaper with a magnifying glass. I'm also making my colors more intense than it appears that they are here, but I suppose El Greco is known for his really intense colors. And I wonder if this painting is just like faded over 500 years. It seems likely. In any case, I'm making it brighter. It is a limited palette, though, which is good. So I'm not kind of going nuts and picking out every color. I'm basically sticking to like 3 colors. This is like an ochre, some kind of a yellow, and an indigo, and a little tiny bit of...
Kind of looks like the same color as the hand.
The sword?
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of the same color as the hand.
Not in the painting.
Well, El Greco got that part wrong. I'm correcting it.
What are you doing, Twiggy?
It may look the same. It does look kind of the same on the screen, but it's actually kind of different. My hand is much browner.
Yeah, on the screen it
The eyes are pretty different.
You gave him a bigger, longer, more prominent nose.
Yeah. I did.
Linda says yours looks like Paul Giamatti.
Ew.
Danny doesn't care for Paul Giamatti. you have insulted and offended a vast swath of different types of potential viewers today.
I hope you're.
Mr. Cappuccino.
I hope that you're okay with the fact that I am a non-denominational insult comic.
And Paul Giamatti's been in like many of our favorite things, but he has a few acting tics that when we watch him on the screen, we kind of do make fun of him.
You know, there's certain artists, certain actors who have like 4 things that they do, and they kind of shift between one thing and another, and he's that.
Yeah. Like the eye, he opens his eyes.
Well, he talks really low like this, or then he starts blustering and spitting. It's like, honestly.
Great actor and probably a very nice person. And
why would you think he's a very nice person?
You know, I feel like when an A-list actor is like a real jerkalo, you know about it.
That's true.
Yeah.
But of course, he's not an A-list actor. Well,
he is an absolute A-list actor. I will also say from our many, many, many years of working in advertising, combined like a lifetime of years, we can tell you that celebrities, A-list and D-list celebrities tend to be very nice people. They are like absolutely respectful to everyone they're working with. They're like considerate, all of the things. It's sort of the B and C-list people that are problematic, and that's the nicest word I can use.
It's true.
Like the A-list, every A-list person I ever worked with was just lovely and professional and lovely.
Except for Paul Giamatti. I'm seeing the Paul Giamatti in this eye now because it's the sort of hooded eyes. Yeah.
I would say it's the nose for me, whereas the original nobleman has like he's done some contouring. He's got a very thin nose with the pointy tip, and yours is sort of, you basically gave him your nose.
No, this is a very straight, flat nose. It doesn't have a ball at the end of it. My nose has a ball at the end of it. I disagree with that, but yeah, it does. It does look long and thin. You're right. It is. Yeah, I painted Paul Giamatti. Damn it. So here's my painting of a very slender Paul Giamatti.
He's his Ozempic Giamatti.
I'm thinking of changing the name of this painting to Paul Giamatti. A tribute.
It's actually Paul Giamatti, right? Not Giamatti.
Oh, you mean Paul Giamatti?
No,
I was talking about Paul Giamatti. I love Paul Giamatti. That's what you're talking about, Paul Giamatti.
What was that movie he was in last year about the boarding school? He was so
the Left Behinds.
Leftovers.
No, Leftovers is a different one. That's the.
So it was very good.
Series about the people who went to heaven or whatever.
I think the thing that got under our skin the most was his character in Billions, which was was like a soap opera and also a lot of satire. But there was a lot of overacting on Giamatti's part.
He chews a lot of scenery.
It's a fun show though, cheesy.
Yeah, I miss it.
I do too.
Yeah, I think how are we doing for time?
You land the plane. You're done.
All right, the plane is coming in. Please put your seats in a full and upright position, and turn off all electronic devices because we are coming in on Paul Giamatti and Sword.
The film is called The Holdovers.
Holdovers.
Yes. Thank you. We did. We really loved that movie.
Despite.
So Kathy said, I Googled the painting and found someone's version with the nobleman holding a cat. Which
Yes,
we also saw.
Yeah, we saw that too.
And is hilarious, and she's going to do it. So I can't wait to see that.
That's cool with a cat.
Yeah, it's like a big orange cat. It's very funny. We also saw that with the Mona Lisa. So we did a Mona Lisa in Draw With Me Again. And when we were Googling that, there's, I think, an artist on Etsy, but she'll do a painting and she'll put your pet in the Mona Lisa's arms. Very, very funny. And well done, like a nice painting. It's a pretty funny concept. Anyway.
Paul Giamatti is in at least one of my favorite movies.
Don't say it.
Sideways.
Oh, I hate that movie. I hated that movie. Sorry. Now I'm the offender, but I really dislike that film so strongly. We're opinionated. What can we say?
It's full of... I love everything, except for Paul Giamatti. Oh, there's a couple of other people I don't like. Diane Wiest.
Stop before you offend anyone
I don't care
else.
if I offend anybody. If you want to stop drawing with me because I don't like Diane Wiest, then...
But you don't have a reason for disliking her.
Yeah, she's always crying and her face turns red and she's sniveling. Again...
Her characters are always doing that. Let's be clear. She's an actress.
I've heard that she does that a lot. All right. I think we're ready to put Paul to bed.
Okay. Before we offend anyone else, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, I think I'm good with this. Brushes down. Yes. What were we going to say?
All right, Lisa said she's very nice. I met her.
Was she crying?
I don't doubt it. She's an A-list actress. Most A-list people are really nice and professional and courteous and respectful. And she's had a massive long career. Lisa says, you people. A much deserved you people, I would say.
I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start ruining
Yeah,
it.
don't do it. It's pens down. Water brush down. What is that? Water ship down?
Water ship down. Yes. Yes.
CEO refuses to be offended. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, yesterday in Draw With Me Again, somebody said that they would pay extra if we
got drunk?
if we swore more and if we drank more.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, we're thinking about calling it something called Drink With Me.
Offend with me.
Drink With Me.
How about snark with me?
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thursday.
fun.
What a fun day.
This is a challenge. This is a tough one. So I hope that no matter what your results are, I hope that you're pleased with yourself because it is not easy to do this.
No.
I mean, El Greco struggled with it. Yeah. So it was a challenge, but I think it was fun and I enjoyed it. I hope you did too. And if you really, really hated it, let me know. Or don't. Do I want to know? No, I mean, I would like to know because if I'm proposing a lot of things that turn out to be like impossibly hard for people, then
But we're always doing a variety. I mean, that's really the nature of this show is like if you hated what we did, then come the following week and it'll be something you love. It's totally different.
yeah, I mean, I think the proof is usually in like how many people did it. When we go out to collect all of the pictures, if there are 3 of them, and there's lots of like, this sucked, I hated it, then we know. But yeah, that rarely happens.
Yeah.
Everybody rises to the challenge. All right, good. So a few things. One, I want to see your El Greco. So please put him on Facebook or on Instagram and tag it, #SBS, that's Sketchbook Skool, SBS, Draw With Me. And we'll go around and we'll collect them. And next Thursday when you come in, hopefully we'll be able to show your El Greco. I write an essay every week. Comes out every Friday. It's free. You can sign up for it at dannysessays.com. And I would love to share my thoughts with you.
Did we mention it's free?
By the way, it's free.
It's free.
And in fact, this week it's on sale, half off. Still free. Also, if you'd like to draw with me on Wednesdays, become a member of this channel. Even if you don't want to draw with me on Wednesdays, become a member, because you'll let us know that you like what we're doing. And
Well,
support
being a
us.
member helps keep this program free.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. We don't have to go back to getting horrible sponsors and putting
We
ads.
ditched our sponsors. Did you guys notice?
Yeah, we've got rid of the sponsors, and we thought you would support us and be our sponsors. That may have been a suicidal
How's
mistake.
that going so far? No,
It's
for
going
real.
well. It's
Our
going well.
members rock.
A lot of people are joining. It's cheap. You can do it for next to nothing. Just go and look it up. You will see the button down below which says join, and you'll see the description down below. So,
All right, we're done.
yeah. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you again next week.
Until
In one
then.
form or another. Have fun. See you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.